Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, bringing you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I am your host, JP.
Hey yo,
Nothing to fault at first. Good. With me, as always, the 6'10 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K.
Scared of you motherfuckers.
Joining us in a little bit because he is getting done with the rehearsal because you know he is the greatest DJ of all time, DJ
Nobody
Nat
tell the
6.
DJ request what to play.
And joining us for probably about the last half hour or so, talking a little bit of F1 and other sports, CJP.
Here comes the money.
And to get started, hope everyone's had a great week. Hope everyone continues to have a great week going into Hump Day tomorrow. Few things have happened. Free agency, a little bit of NBA history stuff going on. Um, I did want to get started with K's Buccaneers. Um, they ended up re-signing, or at least from what I saw, re-signing Mike Evans to a 2-year, $52 million deal. I think it was 52 point something. I think it was. So K can kind of breathe easy on that one. Big Mike is still on the team. They franchise tagged Winfield Jr. Um, from that point, uh, one, I know you're happy with the Mike Evans, coming back and everything, but when it comes to Winfield Jr., was it something that was doing the tag the right thing? Should they given him a longer contract? How are you feeling about the latest signings to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
um, okay, I guess I don't. I mean, I don't. People that's not a Buck fan continue to think that Mike Evans was going to leave. Anybody that was a real Buck fan knew that he wasn't going anywhere. So this, okay,
It was nice to speculate for a second.
I guess to make y'all a little wood get it hard or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't. I think this is a fake thing that I saw because I don't see Mike Evans really, I guess, outright saying that, but I had seen somewhere, I guess he was trying to, um, he was saying, given that this is probably the last few years of his career and everything like that, to actually look for a championship um, contending team type thing, almost ring chasing like, which again to me didn't sound like something Mike Evans would really say. Um, to be completely honest, but giving him 25 million plus, I think it's well deserved. Um, his 1,000 yards per season streak still alive. We'd always talked about him being a lifer there in Tampa. But with Winfield Jr., is that something? Should they have re-signed him for a little bit for a better deal, or is franchise tagging the right move?
It's the right decision.
Because it opens up what? Because now you guys or so now do you guys go get a long-term contract with Baker, or are you looking for something else?
Well, then I'm guessing the intention is trying to keep everyone, but also in the draft see what you can get. So that's my guess. The intention is to keep everyone to make a real push. Well, continue to try to keep majority of these parts because I do think some trade are going to happen. I think some people are going to get up out of there. As you saw, Shaq Barrett got released, so my guess is that they're content with Yaya's development. Also, I don't know. I think they think that Shaq's probably gonna end up going to the Broncos to finish his career to be like, all right, I'm done because they gave him a chance. And they didn't have a trade partner. Like they probably was gonna try to trade Shaq for Russell Wilson, and then the money didn't match up because Russell didn't adjust, and they had to release. I think that was the goal. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, because I don't think Russell fits with us. Baker fits with us. If we had to, out of the two of those quarterbacks, Baker fits with us better than Russell. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jason was trying to do some shit like that. He does a lot of good shit, though. He knows how to find some fucking receivers for sure. I feel like we have the best receiver core and the best eye for drafting or finding young wide receivers. It's tough. I really think they're trying to sign like Devin White and fuckers like that. I think they're trying to get all those guys, but Baker wants too much money, and he's not based off of what I've seen. This is my assumption. I'm not saying this is what Baker's doing to make it seem like his on his character or anything like that. So I believe that he don't want to adjust. He wants the money because he feel like he deserves it, which he does. He does deserve a good contract. It's just right now we're trying to put a team together, and we're still too close from our Super Bowl win, and a lot of those contracts are affecting our cap space still. You know what I mean? A lot of pieces, you know what I mean? Because Brady just retired. This was our first year without Brady. You know what I mean? So he still got paid this year. He was on our books this past season. I mean, it's a lot of different things you got to think about, like what they're trying to do. And they're trying to go get free agents.
Is Vita Vea's contract coming up soon?
It's probably a couple years down the line, if not next year. I mean, if so,
I was
that's
wondering
still next
about
season.
that.
It ain't
I
this
was
year for
wondering
sure.
about that on how much they would pay him. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about like quarterback numbers or anything else like that, but still, we're talking about a dominant defensive tackle. Probably top 3, top 5 at worst defensive tackles in the league. I would think they would be paying him big time money. Now, Aaron Donald money, I don't know about all that, but somewhere close to it. And if you're thinking about that now, maybe because of the fact that Baker doesn't want to really adjust and kind of go with, what he feels he deserves, which, like you said, he does. He performed well. I can't take that away from him and everything else. That's more than admitted. But if they do sign Baker, one, how much would it be for? Or how much do you think he would be worth? And two, do you think that signing would affect the ability to sign Vita Vea down the line?
I have no idea. It's hard to answer these questions because I'm really not prepared for them. I kind of like got a little bit of this information to be able to answer these questions, so I really don't know how to answer them.
It's all good. It's all good. I just want, like, from from what you've seen and everything? Because again, I was wondering, looking at it, going franchise tagging Antoine Winfield Jr. To me, when they franchise tag somebody, it's almost like it's almost viewed as a prove it deal. So this might be like a prove it deal to Winfield Jr. to see if they're going to pay him as one of the top safeties in the league.
Hold on. So why do you have to prove it when you just proved it this past season having the best stats at safety? This is not a prove it deal. This is a we're going to take care of you, but we're trying to get everybody else on the team so we can have an actual team. That's what that is. It has nothing to do about proving anything. He has the best stats in the league this past season at safety. What do you have to prove?
To prove that you can do it again. How old is Winfield Jr.? He's late 20s.
He's done
right?
it all 4 years. He's done it all 4 years of his career.
Oh shit! He's still on his rookie contract essentially.
He just got drafted 2020 in the second round. Well, it was second or third round from Minnesota. Might have been third round because we got Chris Godwin second round. Actually, we got Chris Godwin the year before because he had 12.
I mean, again, this is just my mind racing because again, I know really nothing about the finances and everything that are going on with the team, so I don't really know for sure. But from an outsider looking in, why tag him instead of signing him to a long-term deal?
Because you're trying to sign other players so you can have a good team.
Yeah, but then you're going to
That's
have
why.
that's a conversation that needs to be had the very next year.
Yes, because now that you have contracts settled, things get better. Players leave, things leave. You have contracts based off of that right there. You got two players based in the same year. You franchise tag one, sign another for a 3-year deal. You sign another one the next year. The other guy still has 2 years on his deal. You sign him for a 3-year deal. Now you got both of these guys for the next 5 years, essentially.
Yeah, but that's only like we're talking what, five, like a handful of players, like five really like cornerstone pieces, really. And I don't know. I feel like they should have tagged Baker, given Winfield a 3-year deal. That way, even with the tag, Baker Mayfield would be making a pretty hefty amount of money on the tag. And that way you still be able to have enough time to you either pick up somebody in this year's draft or next year's draft to be your QB, but I don't necessarily, and this is not out
All
of
right, this is
hatred or anything
this
else like
is
that. I don't see Baker Mayfield as your
yeah,
long-term solution.
so that's exactly what it was. What you tried to preface before you said that. It's hatred because there's no reason why you would not sign the hometown guy to a franchise tag. Again, I don't know which tag is more money. That's first off. So I can't answer any
The
of these
QB
questions
tag
because
is way more money.
that's why you don't franchise tag the quarterback. That's first off. And then secondly, you can adjust his numbers based off of different things. And on top of that, yes, we would love for Baker to stay, but if Baker dips, he dips. That's pretty much what it is. We can fuck around and still get Michael Penix. So, yeah, they have his stock going down. Go ahead, have him go down. Let us go get this hometown guy. He's from Tampa, went to high school in Tampa. Yeah, I would do exactly what they did. Now we got more money to be able to go get other guys like D lineman, another safety, because I hate fucking Ryan Neal. Even though he was a very versatile guy in our season, he played multiple positions. He did a lot of different things in key moments where guys got hurt, but I still hate that fucker. So, yeah, shit like that.
So then, do you see Baker Mayfield as the kind of like, I guess maybe not super long term solution, but at least the solution for the next 3 to 4 years?
I mean, Baker could be whatever they sign him to. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is for him. I'm not entirely sure what his plan is for himself. But like I said, we got to see what Baker's going to be now, because Dave Canales is in Carolina. He's in the division. So we got to see what he's going to be. Those are going to be two super tough games, even tougher games for him. So,
Yep.
or Baker might fuck around and go back to Carolina. And they sit down the toddler because he's not ready to play. But granted, they wouldn't do that because they just had him play this last season. So that would completely shank his development if they did that. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with Baker. Like, teams want him. Like, it's not many teams that want him because many teams don't need a quarterback. They want to just go at the draft because of this draft position. So we'll see what's going on. I don't think Baker's going to get signed until after the draft. So
After, okay. I mean, yeah, at that
yeah,
point, you'd really see what you have, and if he
he's
does end up
important.
sitting. So, yeah.
Granted, he played well, but he's still not, like, at the end of the day, he's not a top quarterback. He's not a top 5 quarterback. Top 5 quarterbacks get signed very quickly. Middle of the pack guys that played well, but it's like they're still questioning them, they're going to get signed after the dust settles a little bit. It's too much shit going on for the NFL draft coming up, and you're not entirely sure, because if you do sign Baker right now, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. So I saw, so yeah, if again, you have to see. It's just based off of where his position at. If Baker played 3 years straight of getting 4,000 plus yards, then he would have got signed immediately. But just one season after you had this whole bumpy journey to get here, yeah, it's gonna be tough because they're still not sure of you. They think you was just doing that to try to get a deal. So that's a guy that has to prove it.
Yeah, and in that sense, I don't think he gets really anything bigger than a 2-year deal. With that second one kind of being almost an optional. And then money wise, like, do you pay him $40 million? I wouldn't. I wouldn't put $40 million down, but with the quarterback market the way it is, you can fuck around and have to sign Baker Mayfield for 2 years, $80 million, 80 plus $1 million. That's not going to be beneficial.
One, I'm not entirely sure if that's a bad thing, but two, you got to explain why you don't think he's deserved $40 million based off of the market going up.
Maybe my mindset just has to adjust on the idea of who is deserving of a $40 million plus deal. Because in my head, I don't think he's a $40 million a year quarterback. But in reality, in the market, fucking Daniel Jones is a $40 million quarterback. Is he deserving of that? fuck no.
Yes, he does
Really?
deserve $40 million. He definitely does, because the thing is, everyone
Daniel
continues to say
Jones.
that yes, he does. I don't get why you don't understand that he has a lot of pluses. Where the problem is, you're looking at him to try to boost up guys because you're using a barometer of a guy that won 7 Super Bowls that boosted up other guys, or a guy like Peyton Manning that got 2 Super Bowls that boosted up other guys. That's what people are saying. It's like, yeah, he deserves that because of his talent, not because of what the NFL standard of a quarterback is. On the New York Giants, he deserves $40 million. So does Saquon, but Saquon plays a position where he gets hurt all the time. He had a bunch of injuries consecutively, so he don't deserve $40 million because that plays a part. Because if you don't have Saquon on the field, it's great that he's on the roster, but if he's not on the field, why the fuck does it matter he's on the roster? He's not on
But
the
then
field.
how? No, I understand that, but how do you say that though? But then you like the idea of Russell Wilson going to the Giants.
Yes,
Like they're
because
gonna
he
have to
fits.
pay him over $40 million. So you're gonna have a backup worth $40 million?
No, what I'm saying is Russell Wilson fits on the New York Giants effect of what he wants. He wants to be a spectacle. Russell Wilson wants to be a show. He wants to be a thing. So he wants to be in a place like New York where he getting the spotlight all the time. He gonna get talked shit about, but he gonna still be in the limelight. You know what I'm saying? Because they not good at receiver unless they get some receivers in this draft and they get lucky like a fuck and they get some receivers. But I highly doubt that anything like that gonna happen. That's why I say I don't know what Russell could possibly go right now, other than a place like Vegas. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I haven't thought this out because again,
They, the Vegas idea again. Like I told y'all during the like offline and stuff like we're talking about. I don't know if the Raiders is a good fit. I don't think it's a good fit because I don't think he fits the mold of what Pierce is trying or going to try and do with that team. I just don't see it that way. And the only reason why I base that is because these last few years, a lot of the shit that former teammates and coaches, how difficult he is to deal with, kind of the arrogance that he has, he doesn't necessarily command the entire respect of his team. And we're talking about a Las Vegas Raiders team who's trying to get back to that gritty, hard-nosed team, that in-your-face team that they used to be. And Russell Wilson being the quarterback is not going to achieve that goal. I
well,
just don't. And this is me being like, I'm not even saying it like going like, when you look at what they're trying to build with the Raiders, and me coming from a 49er fan and somebody who is, never liked the fucking Raiders, what they're trying to do to get, first of all, signing Antonio Pierce was the best thing that they could have done. Now you're developing the culture and everything that they got there. But if you're looking at your quarterback of the future, or even the present, I I don't think Russell Wilson is the guy you look to. You got to look. Now where, I have no idea. I don't even know where the Raiders are in the draft right now. I'm pretty sure they're like the mid teens, like 15 to 20, somewhere around there. Can they get a decent quarterback in the draft at that position? Probably. Okay, they're 13. If they're 13th in the draft, I think they have a pretty good shot of getting a pretty decent quarterback, at least in the draft. Now, whether that goes up to be, they can trade up or figure out some sort of way or whatever to get somebody like Jaden Daniels or sneak up into. I don't know how they would sneak up into the top five, to be completely honest, to go for one of those QBs. But again, Russell Wilson, I don't think is it. That's not the answer. That's not the answer to that problem there. Where it's bridge quarterback and draft time. That's what it is. You got to look at it as this is almost like rebuilding because that's what you're doing. You're rebuilding the culture and the team. So, I mean, maybe you have a different opinion. I don't know. I just don't see Russell Wilson being that guy there.
Right. So I feel like Russell just needs a quarterback like Pierce because I think Pierce gives that same straightforward approach that Sean Payton probably gives, but it doesn't feel like it's demeaning. Granted, the Broncos gave Russell way too much, so when he got spoiled when he first got there, but I mean, it's a lot of shit, man. I don't know. I don't know. It just, like I said, I think Russell just needs a coach like Pierce, and it'll probably get him in that same mode that he needs to be in personally because I don't know. When he got his chip on his shoulder, we don't know what type of coach he had. Like when he was in college and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't know the type of coach he had there, at least for right now, that gave him that chip. Granted, I mean, getting placed the way you place and how you end up in the NFL for sure makes a difference. But I don't know, bro. Yeah, I feel like he's just spoiled with life now, and it's a lot of different shit. And I think he needs a coach that's gonna give him a rude awakening. Because if you get somebody that's gonna pacify his bullshit, I mean, his career is just gonna end ugly. You know what I mean? Especially you're doing interviews and shit, and you get cut like the next day. So I don't know. It's a tough call, but that's why I say the Raiders probably a good choice because Pierce probably give it to him how he needs to be talked to, not necessarily pacify him or even demeaning him, but I think it'd be somewhere in the middle where it's like he'd probably understand it differently because Pierce was a player and he was a Super Bowl champion. So it's you know what I
Right.
mean?
I
Like
was
he
just
was an
about I
actual
was
player.
just about to ask, is that where the
So
connection is probably gonna lie
I mean,
in
I
the fact
guess
that
Russell, because
former
I don't know
player and
where
everything.
his standards are of respect, at least as far as
Be,
athleticism, because people hold different
well, be,
respects and athleticism to be able to retain information from a person. So
well,
I don't know.
but you also like wasn't that that kind of set him straight, do the right like wasn't that kind of what Sean Payton was aiming to do? He just kind of came off in a a way that he probably shouldn't have. Because I mean that's kind like when Sean Payton first got there, that was the whole thing. Like he's a well, you have your own office. Like hold on, no, we're not. Like we're going to be changing shit around. Like is it the fact that he was doing that or the way he was telling him to do
No,
it?
I don't.
Because you said
I
demeaning kind of a lot.
definitely wasn't the beginning because that was a universal thing where I think all of the sports world fans, players and coaches probably was like, yeah, that needed to be done. But I don't. I think it was more the fact of I think it was more of an in-season situation, like when they started going in turmoil and trouble, and then just how he just quickly turned against him. You know what I mean? And then it's like with the whole Jared Judy shit, it's like we're not sure that if he tried to minimize that shit. You know what I mean? Like we're not sure if he tried to stop that bullshit because it went on for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? So he probably just allowed the shit because he felt the same way about Russ to an extent. You know what I mean? Because he probably liked Judy is his ability because he's fast and all that shit. And he probably in practice, he probably catching well and all that shit. But you know what I mean? So I don't know because in the games I don't see what the fuck these motherfuckers see about Judy because I feel like Steve Smith Senior. So I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't see it. So
I mean,
that's the reason why I feel about Russell. It's not like I was a Seahawks fan or nothing like that. I really wasn't a big Russell Wilson fan to begin with. I'm just looking at their team and I'm like, Cortland Sutton, he's a number 2. And their number 1 is at number 3. He's just fast as all shit. Like, if he'd have got drafted by the Raiders, he literally would have fit their normal drafting protocol. So, to be honest with you, a bunch of receivers that's fast as shit can't catch. So,
they would have gone back
yeah,
to
I mean,
Al Davis days.
yeah, that's their normal drafting protocol with receivers for majority of at least my life. You know what I'm saying? So,
Fast as shit, can't catch to save his life. Usually how it goes down. But I don't know. With the Raiders, I think you go for a QB. You still have Aiden O'Connell. Kind of, I guess, you use him as that bridge to where you could, save yourself some money because essentially you're going to have 2 rookie contracts in your quarterback room. So you can
I mean, how long
definitely.
you gonna bridge them? You just bridged them this year. You bridged them this year when Jimmy G got hurt. Now you're getting rid of Jimmy G because he got
Right?
hurt and he was low-key useless on production, and he already bridged. So he's going to be a
Well,
backup until he
like,
fully develops.
so wait, what do you mean he already bridged?
Aiden O'Connell finished the year essentially.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you get one of these top 5 QBs in this draft, is Aiden O'Connell still your answer? That's why I say Aiden O'Connell, you could use him for a year or
For
2 to
what?
kind of finish out his rookie
He's a
contract
backup.
for that.
You keep him
He
as a
wouldn't be the
backup.
backup.
You develop.
You,
Why would he not be the backup?
are you talking about
Jimmy G?
O'Connell or are you talking about the draft pick?
I'm talking about O'Connell.
O'Connell wouldn't be he would
O'Connell
stay
will
the
be the.
starter.
Why would you keep him in the start if you're going to get a top 5 draft pick at
Because
quarterback or
that's where
top
I'm
5
saying
quarterback?
that bridging part. You get that year for them to really develop and learn and then kind of get, immersed into the culture that they're building there.
No, a top 5 guy, you play him fucking now, especially when you already have all the other shit to be able to actually perform. You got a top 5 running back, top 5 offensive line with that running back. You don't
They
have
don't
to
have Josh
fucking
Jacobs
bridge
anymore.
no more.
They don't have Josh Jacobs
What?
anymore. He's free agent.
They're gonna get him back, bro. They're gonna get him back. So that's the reason why I'm saying that. They're getting him back.
You're a little bit more optimistic in that than I am. I think Jacobs is going to find somewhere else.
Name 3 teams right now that he would go to.
Josh Jacobs that he would go to and be effective. I can see Josh Jacobs in Baltimore. I can see him. I hate that I'm saying this, but I can see him in Kansas City. I can see him taking the running spot over virtually half the teams in the league. Like let's not get it to Josh Jacobs is by
I'm not
like
talking about
a
talent
top
because I
5.
feel like you about to go on I think you about to go on a talent tangent. We're not talking about talent. We're talking about actual fit. These teams that need a running back right now that has the money for a running back like him because he demands a lot of money unless he's going back to the Raiders. So that's the real question I'm asking you.
Like what teams would be a fit for Josh Jacobs? I mean, if Saquon is out, I think New York could be a spot. Giants. I still think the Baltimore, them being a run heavy team, and it just gives Lamar Jackson another weapon out of the backfield. And then I guess third team would be, like I said, Kansas City. Wouldn't put it past them to go to the rivals and kind of bolster that backfield a little bit because as time goes on, Patrick Mahomes is going to need a better running back behind him. Pacheco's good, but he's not
Uh, it's
the every down
it's
back that
so
they're looking
many
for.
problems. There's so many problems with all of the teams you just said. The Giants wouldn't go get Josh Jacobs when they have Saquon. It's the exact same guy.
That's why I said if they
Baltimore,
move on from Saquon,
they wouldn't do that because again, you would have to pay them the exact same amount you had to pay Saquon. They've shown that they're not trying to pay that amount. That's my point. So that's the reason why they're off the list. Baltimore, I don't think they'll be able to do that because I think they're trying to figure out all the other shit. You know what I mean? I think they're trying to fill a lot of gaps. I don't think they're trying to make a big splash on one player. I think they're going to re-sign Dalvin Cook and give him a full offseason with them and feel like he'll be effective because he pretty much been on the bench the whole time. So I think that's what they're going to do, at least with that running back situation. They're going to fill other gaps. I think they're going to stay there. What other team you said? Kansas City? Fuck no. They don't have no receivers. They don't have no fucking receivers. They're not going to pay a
I
top
get
running
that.
back when they got
I understand
Pacheco
that.
with 2 rings. They got Pacheco with 2 rings. I hear what you're saying, but he's 2 rings and he's younger than Josh Jacobs. No fucking way. He fits with Patrick Mahomes. He understands the system. You wouldn't do that. Pacheco would take a hometown discount. Been in the league 2 years, got 2 rings. So why would you not? Like, come on. I wouldn't do that shit. I would take a hometown discount immediately. That's first off. And then secondly, they, like I said, they need receivers. So they will probably go get one vet and then go draft a bunch of receivers. Try to make doggone moves and stuff like that to try to get receivers. Because I think that's what's going to happen because Kansas City might end up being a destination spot for wide receivers. Pat Mahomes just showed you I can do that shit with any motherfucking body.
Who do they pick up?
What do you
Who would
mean? Who they
Kansas
pick
City
up?
need to be like? Look, yeah, like who either through the draft or through free agency, who would the Kansas City Chiefs be looking at wide receiver? At first, I'm not going to lie to you, I was thinking Mike Evans if he decided to leave. Obviously, he didn't leave, but there was that hypothetical there on if he left. Going to Kansas City would be, I feel like he would break the 2,000 yard record as well as the receptions record. But obviously he's back in Tampa Bay. So who now could you look at for the Chiefs? Obviously they need an upgrade. They're keeping Rashid Rice. They still got Travis Kelce for what? 2 more years? So
Until he wants to retire.
you think if they get the three-peat, he won't retire? Like I think he would. I think if they got the three-peat, he would retire. If they came in and won it this year, then I think Travis Kelce goes out on top, retires, and is kind of
What
done with
makes
it.
you think that? What makes you think that?
One, he's getting older, and at the tight end spot, that's a tough spot to have that extent. He's already been in the league, what, going on 13 years now? 12, 13 years? He's been in the league for a long ass time. He was in year 8 when they started getting good. So he, like, at some point, at least within the next 2 years, Travis Kelsey is going to be retiring. He'll be right there with his brother, who, by the way, his retirement speech and everything else that he gave, from retiring from the game, like you're losing a legend because again, he was one of the best centers, if not the best center in his time during the league. So with him gone, and as close as they are to each other in age, both playing on the line, it's, I think for Travis, especially with the fact that he takes a beating when he's in there, like it's only a matter of time. And as I'm saying, if he gets a three-peat, it's kind of like what else is there? What, a four-peat? Like, are you like a five-peat? What are you really chasing at that point? Are you going to be chasing Tony Gonzalez's records for the tight end spot? I don't think he has enough time to be able to do that. So that's going to be, so at that point, you need to
So
find
what
at
makes
least
you?
two more
So
weapons to kind
do
of
you
take.
feel like what makes you think this? Like I hear what you're saying. You're saying the tight end position, but again, he's only a tight end by position, by the letters beside his name. That's it. They don't use him like a tight end. So I'm trying to figure out, like, all of this shit you saying. I feel you. If this was George Kittle, I would agree with you. George Kittle be blocking his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Then he fucking go out there, like, you know what I'm saying? He plays like a traditional tight end. Travis Kelsey does not. So I'm trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? Like what, like, where are you getting this from? Because honestly, I don't see Buddy slowing down at all. Like, at all. I don't like at all. I don't see no dimension in his game. Like he actually starting to add more different elements into his game, more elements into his game. I'm confused. Like I really don't understand it. So George Kittle, I give him that timeline you just said because he blocks and he has to hit linebackers and D linemen all the time. He gets wear and tear on his body that tight ends normally get. So I understand where you're coming from, at least if that was the guy you was for question. But Travis Kelsey barely blocks. He really plays more receiver than the receivers. He kind of like feels with Patrick Mahomes, so he gets hit, but not as much because he kind of like fills in spaces. He's very smart about the contact he takes. I don't see what you see.
I mean, when you put it that way, it's kind of like, well, I mean, realistically though, does he really have another 5+ years left in him?
I'm not sure of his timeline because we haven't seen any diminish in his game. So I'm not entirely sure. Like until that like the clock starts when you start seeing him slow down. Then the clock starts for people. When you start noticing little shit that he did, he's not doing anymore.
Damn.
Like speaking for myself, I know I'm not an NFL player, played semi-pro shit. Also, everybody, make sure you guys go check out Rise of the Tigers episode 1. It's at Life Canvas on YouTube. Make sure you type in Rise of the Tigers Canvas or River City Tigers Canvas, and then it'll pop right up because it's a lot of different shit that got the name Canvas in it. So obviously, but yeah. So at least as far as myself, I know this is my last year because a lot of my shit's slowing down. Like a lot of the shit I was able to do, like I was explaining to a couple different guys, like this is not based off of conversations that I had with him. This is all based off of what I've seen and who I think he is. You know what I'm saying? So our head coach for the team is my former teammate. So I believe when I first joined the team, I joined mid-year last season, and I believe because of the depth chart he's shown me, the different things and the elements, and when I first joined the team, he expected me to be in shape and stuff like that, and I wasn't. You know what I mean? Because the very first game, I was like the second string tight end because he expected me to be in some kind of shape. You know what I mean? Because normally I'm in football, really basketball shape. Normally, you know what I'm saying? Normally I'm in basketball shape, which is more conditioning than football, especially for the position I play. So I'm able to play multiple things on the field.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like that. I was literally a couch potato when I came. So my role adjusting things of that nature, and that's kind of currently why I'm in the role, and that's why I continue to say I'm gonna get in shape because of, like I said, based off of how I'm getting done, I believe they're kind of telling me indirectly, you need to get your butt in shape so we can actually use your ability because we know what you can do. Again, has not been off a conversation, has not been on anything like that. I'm just basing off of how I'm being used and shit like that. So, and that was, like I said, last year. This year, we got way more players, so I don't even have to be used like that. You know what I mean? Like I can just use all of my talents and energy at one specific position, and I can just go off. And I feel like as far as and how that relates to Travis, I feel like Travis hasn't diminished. So I don't think he has that same timeline. Like for myself, I see. But I also feel like that was due to different injuries that I received, like in 2019 and 2021. So I feel like that was because of why my skills diminished. I mean, chiropractic rehab right now. So I'm working on that. I mean, I already feel like I got some of my speed back just off of the adjustments I got today. Shit was crazy. Like I was able to walk. I couldn't even get
I
up
was
out of
about
the
to say,
chair when I got there.
how did that go?
Yeah,
Like
no, it
what did they
pretty
do?
well. Uh, it was just the initial. So I just went, did my initial test, and then I just had my first adjustment. So he just, cracked all my shit, tried to get me back and learn all that. So I mean, it helped. Like one of my hips cracked. This was crazy. One of my hips cracked, the other one didn't. Like that's the crazy part. Like one of them cracked, the other one didn't. That's what makes me like fuck. Like you know what I'm saying? So I'm still kind of like gimping around, like I'm icing, doing all kind of shit. But I mean, like I was telling fucking Robert, I'm gonna be available for week 1, so I'm not even worried about that. Just based off of the timeline and the plan that he has for me. The multiple times I have to go and shit like that because this is out of pocket. So it's like I don't have to worry about waiting on insurance and all that other bullshit. So I can just literally pull up. So yeah. I recommend everybody go check them out. Hopefully you got the same type of doctors, or I mean therapists. Are they doctors or therapists? Because I'm not sure. I call them a doctor, but doctors and shit.
Chiropractors.
He's a
Chiropractors.
doctor because he has a doctorate. He has a doctor on his card. So
Well,
yeah, shout out to Dr. Shaq.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it's with a C. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dr. Shaq. You know what I mean? He got me right day one. So we gonna, you know what I'm saying, keep it popping with him, you know what I mean? But yeah, make sure you guys go check out They Nationwide. This is not an ad, and they didn't pay us. And Josh did not know I was gonna say this shit, but go check out Joint Chiropractors or whatever the fuck this name is. It's called The Joint. You know what I mean? They pretty cheap. They got the initial deal and shit like that. And they have really good fucking payment plan deals, and their regular monthly thing is pretty fucking reasonable. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's crazy. It's under $100. And you get a decent amount of visits. It's up to 4 visits a month. You know what I'm saying? So they you know what I mean? So it's pretty solid. Like I said, it's not an ad, not a shit like that, which I need to try to see and I can get them for Canvas. I'm gonna go talk to them fuckers. But yeah, but those guys, they like I said, they're pretty solid. They got me good. So at least, like I said, I'm able to walk. I'm going to the gym tonight because I've been kind of sporadic. Like I'll go and I'll hit the hot tub and do shit like that and go on the bike like Coach Lynch been telling me, but like I haven't been able to like fully lift with my full intention. You know what I'm saying? Like with my full intention. Like practice Saturday, coach got me mad. So my strength came out. So, but like before that, I was just like at 45%, 30%, like for the most part, like you get 45%, we got a 9 on 7. You know what I'm saying? Just so I give him a little bit of a push or some shit. But I really wasn't doing it until fucking Coach Derek started fucking talking shit to us, me and Jesse, and it was like, all right, motherfucker. Like, all right, like I get what you're doing. You're trying to get us prepared for that in the game, but you know me personally, like to an extent. You know what I'm saying? So you know if you talk enough shit to me, I'm gonna forget these are my motherfucking teammates and I'm gonna throw one of these motherfuckers. So, but when I grabbed Dylan Big Red, I fucking got the V of his neck and I ran that shit up. You know what I mean? Because he got me pissed. So I went up to like 70% of my strength. I rammed that bitch to the V of his neck. He was like, whoa. I was like, oh, let me chill. Let me chill. Let me chill. So,
God damn it, coach.
Derek, no, I'm like, bro, you need to chill.
Got me choke slamming
I had to
people out
calm
here.
down.
God damn it.
Yeah, bro.
The
Derek
full
got to
on
chill.
fucking
Got to
Kane
chill
and
the shit
Undertaker.
for some of us. Just like, look, I'm telling you, I'm gonna snap, and once because you know it's a switch. He know because again, I practice, I start pacing. You'll experience it. When I start pacing, I'm getting in that zone. You know what I'm saying? I explain to Marcus. I do that shit before every fucking game. During the national anthem, normally I'm pacing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's normally what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting in my shit. So if I'm pacing, I'm either getting into it or out of it. You know what I mean? To be able to be interact or not interact with you motherfuckers. So if I'm pacing, just you know, let me fucking be. I'll figure it out which one I'm going into. But oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I started pacing on the field, waiting on the offense. He literally got me there. And that's when I ran the shit up in the V of his neck and I realized like I gotta chill. Because I was at 70% and yeah. Yeah.
Didn't need to be.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, fucking
Needed to be at 20%. Relax.
No, that's why. No, at practice, I stay between 30 and 45, which it comes with age. Like some people know what the fuck I'm talking about, and then some people gonna think I'm fucking crazy on, you know what I'm saying, on using the percentage level of your strength and shit like that. Some people gonna think I'm fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like what he talking out the side of his neck. You know what I'm saying? So nah,
no.
like that shit's real for
Yeah,
me. I figured that shit out.
You gotta pace yourself now.
Well, not necessarily about like as far as conditioning and stuff, I was always in good condition, so I was able to like go at a higher level, at least for that, as far as running and shit like that. But as far as my strength, in a sense, I would have to because my body was always able to maintain. Oh, thank you. Same you guys if you're getting on tonight. But yeah, like sometimes I'll like my body's always been like my muscles, stamina, and fatigue and shit like that. I was always higher than football game would go. But now I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of building that back up. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just so you know, speaking of retirement, you know, like you said, Jason Kelsey, you know, is retiring. He got emotional. It was I mean, you know, again, these guys put a lot of work into what they do. I don't doubt that he's probably going to find some sort of job somewhere for some network or whatever, talking, or you know, just continuing what him and his brother do on their podcasts. Um, you know, but for the rest of the time, making you know millions of dollars and stuff like that off of that. But I was wondering the question at this point. The reason why the tush push for the Philadelphia Eagles was so effective was because of Jason Kelsey. Now that Jason Kelsey is no longer with the team, do the Philadelphia Eagles become more pedestrian in that you know realm? Um, you know it's going to affect the offensive line to a very high degree because again that was pretty much the leader of the offense, not just like the offensive line, the offense. Um, where do the Eagles go from there? How big of a drop off does this become? when you're missing an offensive lineman like that?
If the backup doesn't have the formula down, then significantly, Sirianni gets fired. That's how significant that makes it. So
Maybe looking at a whole new
if
team.
the backup's not prepared, or if they don't have a whole plan in place to where the tush push was just like a fad, you know, because he was using his abilities for the last remaining of his career with that type of quarterback. I mean, we'll see. I mean, hopefully Sirianni and the offensive staff knows how to actually coach a football player, or they go get an offensive coordinator that actually knows what they're doing. So we'll see, because then they fire the OC.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
So that's what it all depends on. If Sirianni hires the right guy to save his ass.
I mean, is it up to
Like,
Sirianni or is it up
ideally,
to the general manager?
I think it's Sirianni, because he's going to play a major part of talking with the GM. Like, the GM and Sirianni are going to be discussing that. They're going to have meetings together with those people. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. They're going to at least listen to him. Like,
Who is who?
the GM.
Oh, the GM is. Oh, I thought you said Sirianni for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. When did he win the championship? Because I was like, wait a minute. It was fucking Doug Peterson as the head coach when they won the Super Bowl. But that GM, I mean, if you don't have that much trust in Sirianni, why would you discuss with him to begin with? Because I'm kind of thinking about it right now that I think the Eagles are pretty close to pulling the proverbial trigger when it comes to letting go of Nick Sirianni. Now, it'll I don't see it happening now or like before the draft, but if during the year, it could be as soon as midseason that they get rid of him, especially if things are continuing to go on the downward spiral that it ended with. Um, I mean, a lot of people were calling that he probably should have been fired after this season. Um, but now that's a huge hole to fill in that offensive line, because that is a leader that you could probably deem irreplaceable. You have to come up, again, like you said, hopefully they were developing somebody with the understanding of, hey, they should have been already doing it in the beginning of last season, because it was even talked about at that point that it was going to probably be Jason Kelsey's last year in the league. So they should have taken the measures that were necessary for the future to be fine, but that remains to be seen. Um, but it's turning into now. I don't know, especially with with a lot of teams coming up right now. Coaching wise, things are going to be different for about half the teams in the league. Um, but I don't even want to talk about my team, to be honest, because what I'm seeing is the off season is just beyond my belief and beyond my control. Um, but now we have the draft coming up, which fuck, who knows what the hell is going to happen there. And then we have A7FL coming up on the 24th. So in 2 weeks, we've got that coming up. That's going to be a busy schedule. And then now, when I talked earlier in the show about the NBA and how some history and everything like that was going on with that, LeBron James hits 40,000 career points, and is this official? He's now like because he hits the 40,000 point mark, they have officially crowned LeBron James the greatest basketball player to ever live. Has the
Some
king been
people feel that
officially
way.
crowned?
Some people feel that way.
And others still no?
I mean, it's people feel differently on this situation. I mean, can't really speak for the masses. I only can speak for myself. I mean, I feel like LeBron, as far as basketball, the way I consume basketball, I mean, I like guys that do multiple things on the court. So I like versatile players. So for me, LeBron would be my greatest player because he does so many different things on the court. Like, as far as the most dominant, like my favorite player for me is Shaq. But again, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like the greatest player though, I would have to give it to LeBron because he does so much on the court. And I realized that like a while back. You know what I mean? Like when he was still on the Cavs before he came to Miami. People thought I was on the Miami train. It's like, nah, like I understand what the man was doing when he was in Cleveland. And I gave him respect then. And it's just like all the other shit I didn't like either. But then it's like when I looked at it, I'm like this man is doing everything. And all these other motherfuckers, like when they lead a team, when they get to the team with LeBron, they play well. And I understand about dynamic and roles and people taking their shots and have to do shit differently. But it's like even the other shit that you did great, you can't even do no more. I.e. a fucker like Kevin Love. Like he was a rebounding goddamn king in Minnesota. He get with LeBron, it's like, fuck, I understand you ain't gonna be able to score like that, but shit, at least you can get some goddamn boards like that, like you used to.
So you should have doubled your boards.
So I'm not entirely sure. So again, a lot of people feel a lot differently. I mean, personally, like I said, I feel like LeBron is the greatest player because of the versatility he has on the court and the things he do, his impact in the game is like high level. Like I understand people don't fear him and all that shit. I feel that, but it's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand that. But like I said, I see it differently. Like he got all them losses, but then if you look at some of them teams, like kind of drug them motherfuckers. But some again, like when he lost Miami and against Dallas, it's like we had a good team. We lost. He choked. That's what happened. So froze
That
up.
was during the time when LeBron he was having the questions being made about whether or not he was a good fourth quarter finisher. During that first little stretch. But I mean, let's see. Let's see if what the greatest DJ of all time has to say. I know you're a Lakers fan, but LeBron James hitting 40,000. First of all, sir, how was your night? How are you feeling?
Oh
Before
man,
you
good.
answer this question, how the fuck is it going?
Good. Just got out of rehearsal with the legendary Cocaine. We got a show this Thursday, so just got out of that rehearsal and yeah, so just adding to the resume.
it just gets better and better, people. LeBron James hits 40,000. People are crowning him as the GOAT officially because of it. Uh, where do you stand on LeBron James hitting 40,000
I mean, when you
and on
play
your GOAT
like
list?
50, when you play like 50 years, of course you're gonna beat some records. I mean, he's been playing, playing for a minute.
Was
So,
it
I mean, there's always that debate. I don't
one?
think he's the greatest. He's a good player, but I just don't know.
Well, they said they took away if you took away the 3-pointers, he has over 36,000, and if you take away the free throws, he is at 32,000.
Mm.
So
You need to add up a couple more
literally
championships.
just only 2-pointers.
You need to add some
Well,
more
I mean,
championships in there. That's where that GOAT title come
where
in.
I think, well, not so much as just the championships. I think where the conversation really started getting kind of twisted and mixed was the fact that people couldn't get over the fact that LeBron he kept going to different teams.
Yeah.
He just kept like team hopping, pretty like just going to different situations. If it's instead of trying to have it one side built around him, try to actually build Cleveland into a fucking dynasty.
Yeah.
Then that's where some of that argument at least comes in. That's where part of my argument, came in.
Mm.
Like the amount of all-stars and top players that he played with throughout his career. It's like, come on, it's like, yeah, Jordan had Pippen and he had Rodman,
Mm.
but when we're talking about top 100 players of all time, LeBron has played with 22 of said players on that list.
Yeah.
They
Oh
can't
my
say,
God!
"Oh,
All
well,
right,
he
so
didn't do it.
look,
He
hey,
didn't do
hold
it
on,
with
whoa,
anybody
whoa.
in
So you're
Cleveland."
not
Well, he
you're
had
not gonna say you're
Kyrie.
not just gonna say that Jordan only had 2 guys and LeBron had 23. We're not gonna do that. So
No,
that's
he
100%
had
what we're not
work.
gonna
He
do.
had. I'm talking about on the top 100 list.
And again, y'all people keep sitting here trying to frame the shit just by bringing up the stats. Before he even played with anybody that was of value, the man drugged a fucking sorry ass team to the finals and got swept. Did he drug
Right.
in his first 3 years? No, he did not.
Okay, but what did
All right.
he do that Jordan didn't do?
He drug a fucking team full of bums and lost against Greg Popovich
I'm
and the Spurs in their prime.
I'm
That's what he
talking
did.
about the
That's
fact that he
exactly what
left.
happened.
He left. Like he went to the fight, but even Michael Jordan going through those rough times in the early years of his career, stayed with the team and helped build the team around him, to get better.
Yeah,
LeBron left as soon
because
as he
again,
could.
the team made the decision to get players like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and Steve Kerr and Tony Kukoc and fucking goddamn all these other motherfuckers. Goddamn, they even went and got goddamn Charles Oakley for this motherfucker. Like, we're not gonna sit here and try to make it seem like the Bulls didn't make a concession to go get players for Jordan. They went and got guys for Jordan to be able to play. They got glue guys. Yes, they probably listened to him, or they just made a better effort to go find talent. We don't know what the situation was. We only can find out when they drop docs. But at the exact same time, in LeBron in that situation, yeah, I will fucking leave too. Because again, they was only gonna get mediocrity or fucking goddamn low to be average players that wasn't gonna be able to be ready for them right then. Because where they gonna end up drafting, because he's dragging fucking teams to fucking goddamn championship fucking aspirations.
So that's
That was the
everywhere he
issue.
went, essentially.
What do you mean? Like, no, when he went to
Everywhere
Miami,
he
it
went.
was a team. That team got put together via free agency. So they had a bunch
So
of
why did
good
he leave
guys. They
Miami?
had 3 big guys and a bunch of guys, role players and stuff like that. That's what
Why did he
that
leave
was.
Miami?
He left Miami to go win on his own. He wanted to go do it for Cleveland. He said that shit himself, and he won one for Cleveland. He went to the
He
finals 5 times
also,
and played the fucking Warriors.
him and Pat Riley also didn't get along.
Well, it was
Pat
a whole
Riley,
thing. It was a
Pat
whole bunch
Riley
of shit.
wanted a certain way, a certain thing to be done a certain way. In Pat
Well,
Riley's
no,
words,
the
it was
rumor
more
that
like
came out is
LeBron
that
wanted it to be
LeBron's team
about
wanted
LeBron, and Pat
privileges, and
Riley
Pat
said,
Riley
"Fuck
wasn't going
no."
to happen. That's what happened. That's what actually happened with the rumor that came out that happened. That LeBron's team wanted privileges, and Pat Riley said no, and that's where the feud started. So that's what the actual rumor was back then. I'm not entirely sure of the truth. We don't really know. That was the rumor then. So we, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say they didn't like each other. Again, a lot of people don't like people they work with. A lot of people don't like, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is.
I mean, when you look at it, LeBron has had that either with a head coach or a GM everywhere that he's gone. He's had some sort of disagreement with upper management, and instead of dealing with it, he fucking leaves. So that it's like when he went back to Cleveland, he could, he was the GM at that point. He had enough pull to be able to bring whoever the fuck he wanted to into Cleveland. He decided to leave and come to LA to be a Laker. That was, and again, he has all the influence in the world to bring whoever he wants, and he's done that throughout his career. So that's where the argument where people are just kind of like, well, it's a little bit easier to get to those certain situations. It's a little bit easier to get to the finals every fucking year when you're basically bringing in the best pieces, the best complementary pieces at minimum to help him. But then you make sure you better have some sort of longevity because as soon as the going gets tough, he's going to want to trade half the fucking team or leave and go somewhere else. I mean, that's at least for me, that's where my kind of argument goes. It's like, all right, you can. I mean, obviously, people don't necessarily value stats or anything all that much. So when you break it down to something outside of the stats, that's where the argument kind of comes in for me, at least, to where I'm like, when the going got tough, he decided to leave. Like that's and that just didn't happen at one place. That happened everywhere he went. So 40,000 points, cool. He's a lot of people's. I mean, I completely understand what he did to change the game when it came to big men in his position, not only putting up the points, but putting up the assist numbers and the rebounds and everything else like that. You need to be a great player in order to put up those types of numbers. That's obvious. But when it came to putting the rings on the table, Steph has as many as he does. So it's and that's where I kind of wanted to say. I was like, I think Steph should be in the argument of one of the greatest players of all time, one of the most influential players of all time. He's got just as many rings. With the team that he had, it was all drafted. It's not like I mean, you can minus Kevin Durant, in some of that conversation, but in the other conversations, he's got the Finals MVP. He's got the 3-point. He's changed the game to where the 3-point play is now a focal point in team's offense. Like, I'm wondering if that's why. You remember how back in the day when the dunk contest, we used to have all the best dunkers in the world. And now it's kind of like who? Because we've gone away from that inside game for so long.
Well,
That's where I
they're trying to blame LeBron for that shit too, for the dunk contest being the way that it is, because he chose not to do it. I'm like, that ain't his. I mean, he chose not to do it. So just because some of the others did it, I mean, you ain't got to do that shit.
well, you don't. But that basically led the example for everybody else to do the same thing. That's why now you don't have the quote unquote top dunkers in the league participating.
Nah, you just got a bunch of people that don't think for themselves. Is what you got.
That is also true.
Right.
Like he ain't got nothing to do
That
with
is
that. Yeah, y'all chose that shit on your own. How you gonna
Nothing.
blame that man for
not wanting to do it.
Yeah.
I get it though.
Did he
I
ever?
understand.
Did he ever?
I understand the point.
Well, did I mean? Did he ever have a reason on why he didn't want to do it? It's just
Never said
not
what.
something that
Say
was
you
on his
want to.
bucket list. Just didn't want.
Just don't want to. I think people trying to consistently compare him to Jordan, and that will even make it more of a fucking point if he did dunk competition.
Well, I
They would
mean,
start
had he
basing on how
done the
many points he
competition
got
and
in the dunk contest. All
but
kind of
had he done the
bullshit.
competition and won it, doesn't kind of that bolster the argument?
Nah, say if he
Or
won
does
it,
the
he
dunk
won with a
contest really
42.
don't?
Say if he won it
The
with a
dunk contest
42,
really.
Jordan won it with a 50 before. They would have went to that point. Like it would have been that. LeBron won it with a 42, Jordan won it with a 50. They would have made something out of it. Like it would have been something else. Like for real. So don't do it. Don't put all that wear and tear because again, like I said before, like I understand why he didn't, because he does so much on the floor. He does so much. Like the man does a lot for a team on the floor. Every team he's been on. So you had a negative connotation, but again, he does all that shit on the floor. He rebounds. He passes the ball. He's one of the best passers in the league still. He has defense. Like it was a time period where people were afraid of LeBron chasing down and blocking their shot. Like LeBron actually does more than just shoot threes.
And I don't take that away from him. But again, when has one player been able to raise the trophy? I'm not. You get it in there, cool. I'm talking about raise the trophy. When has it been one individual that led the team to raise the trophy?
What year that the Bucks won? What year the Bucks won? The Milwaukee Bucks?
They had
Whatever year that
they
was,
had
Giannis
they had
did that shit.
Middleton and them. Why?
Yeah, they did. Giannis had 50 fucking points, triple double.
I understand that, but he also had help.
Right. That explains everything you need to know. Like I said,
Yeah,
I said those contributing parts, but Giannis was still the reason why they won. Point blank, period. Simple and goddamn plain. Them boys was guarding, they was defending, they was doing everything they was supposed to do. But Giannis was the main contributing factor. All of those, I'm not saying they wasn't important pieces. I'm not at all saying that. But if Giannis still had to go get 50 fucking points, triple double, that says all you need to goddamn know. He had to go do all that to win the game, and them same two motherfuckers was on the floor.
Hey, Milwaukee was out there balling last night. I was watching that game last night. That was a good ass game.
Dame starting to show up
Man,
a
I
little bit.
refuse to watch the Milwaukee game out of protest.
They scored like 40.
I'm not watching that.
Dame scored 41. They came back and ended up winning. Dame scored 41. Porter's had 28 with 16 rebounds. He was out there balling last night. Giannis and Middleton didn't even play. And then Beverly was out there balling too. Yeah, so basically, them was the top three scorers was Dame, Portis, and Beverly.
How much of Beverly have?
Pat Bell, they be having Pat Bell fucked up. I be trying to tell motherfuckers.
Yeah,
they got
I
Pat
think
Bell
Bev
so
had
fucked up.
I think he had 12, but his defense, he was playing some good defense.
That's expected.
Yeah.
I thought you were. It made it seem like Pat Bev would went off for almost 30 or some shit.
Nah,
Like
nah.
12? No.
His
Defense?
defense,
Okay.
though,
Good
his
defensive
defense,
game.
yeah. He had a couple
Yeah.
steals. Yeah, his defense got them back, and then you could see him rallying. It
I
was
mean, he
cool
could
because it was
score too.
like, they was out there. It was a good little match.
Hell yeah.
Why don't you want to watch Milwaukee? Okay.
In protest. I'm still over here looking like emo Jimmy. I'm not gonna lie to you. In my internal, I still look like emo Jimmy. I'm mad as fuck about that goddamn Dame trade. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm still mad about that shit because he was coming to Miami for sure. Like he was coming. Like everybody knew the man was looking for a goddamn crib. Like we all was ready to welcome him to Miami. Like all of the gangsters was ready to welcome him to Miami. They did that shit. I'll tell you right now, everybody was mad as fuck. Everybody. We all showed it a different way. Jimmy Butler when it showed it like that, which got him a Fallout Boy music video starting in the Fallout Boy video. So he started that, got Hulu commercials. Hey, look, it did. He just did the Fallout Boy video in the whole cowboy fucking suit, purple, whatever the fuck. So
They're done the same way.
I don't know if he did have emo hair. He had the emo hair out. It was just he had it in the hat though. You know he's from Texas, so he had the traditional guard. You know what I'm saying? Like he was going to a rodeo, tassels and all that shit. So
He said the tassels and all.
I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, the tassels.
I think Jimmy gonna be in.
How come
he gonna be in movies in the next 2 to 3 years?
How come that trade didn't go down again? What ended up at would just Milwaukee gave up more, or
they wanted Tyler Hero and all that. They wanted Tyler Hero, but then we offered him a different trade. I mean, no, we was trying to get him Tyler Hero and a whole bunch of shit, and then they was like, nah, they ain't worth more than this. But they did get a bunch of shit from Milwaukee, which helped their team. I mean, they got Drew Holiday. In which he ended up leaving. Now he in Boston, but I mean that kind of backfired on him. But they still was able to get picks and players, and now they're a young, rebuilt, hopefully rebuilt team.
And then y'all weren't
hey, man, Six,
willing to get it.
Got them Tito shoes, them the scoot for Trailblazers, right? They're not the Mellow Balls, right?
The Cheetos, the Scoot Henderson.
That's what I thought, because I'm like, that's not LaMelo logo.
Yeah, and I got.
Wait, you got another pair of shoes?
I got I could bought 8 pairs
the hot
of
Cheeto shoes.
I remember the hot Cheeto ones.
I just got the new
That's what
Steph
I'm talking
Curry.
about.
I just got the new Steph Curry retros, and then I got a pair
good
coming.
luck.
I got a pair coming tomorrow, and then the other pair.
Have you had those
Curry
before?
retros, but it's the Spawn, the lime green Spawn editions.
Right.
Oh,
have
Puma?
You had those before?
Yeah, no, them is Under Armour. Steph is with Under Armour.
Under Armour. Yeah, have you had the Under Armour's Currys before?
Nope, this first pair. That's the first pair I got.
Which
hey,
ones?
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. As a former employee / I had to wear that shit / I'm a big motherfucker too. Get you some goddamn insoles because them bitches right there is gonna hurt.
These is hella comfortable. They actually more comfortable than my Nikes.
It's over time. I'm talking about over time.
Yeah.
It's gonna start out, but I'm talking about they wear out fast on the inside. I'm dead ass serious. Them shits wear out fast on the inside because you do a lot of standing, and that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
only wear them to shows, so I only wore them like once. I don't never wear them. I just buy a new pair of shoes for every show.
Hold on.
Look at they're balling.
Hold on.
Balling out of control.
That's what I'm like. Wait a minute. Hold the fuck on. Let's wait. We're not just
I
gonna.
did the
Oh
same
yeah,
thing.
wear them one time.
I did
You
the same
just
thing.
they just collecting dust in your fucking closet now,
And they
or
just sit in the closet. And
He
I
gonna
got
pass
another
some
pair.
shits down the Royal like night
I
shift.
got another pair coming tomorrow. So then I got March 26th. These Nikes I want drop, so waiting for them on the 26th. On the waiting list for them.
See, and
what
that's
size do
that
you wear?
bullshit I'm talking about.
14.
See what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying?
Royal be
Right,
wearing
he
that
right
my
on the cusp.
sophomore year.
He right on the fucking cusp. And they still make them shits. He still can find fucking shoes. That's what I'm saying. Because 13, 14, they right on the cusp. If he would have had 15, it would have been over, buddy.
Well, now they most of the sites go up to like 15, 16 at the basketball shoes.
Bro,
I've even found a couple pair like an 18.
because they're
Damn.
basketball shoes.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these motherfuckers, because I be looking for shoes my damn self all the time. Like when new shit come out, I be like, let me see if the motherfuckers in the 16, because I know they not most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. Like most companies, they starting to get more 16s, like Master said. But some of that fly ass shit I be wanting, hell no. Like that high shit, like no, they don't even make my shit.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the ones that Magic keeps getting, and I'm just like, now that I know this is just a one and done deal, like fuck.
Yeah.
Shit, by the time Royal is filling them out, they'll probably be worth like $400 or $500.
Oh yeah, they stay in the box. Especially like the
I said
Cheetos one,
we
because
gonna pass this shit up.
it's like a novelty shoe. It's not like something you finna wear all the time. So
Right.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't expect you to, but I wouldn't expect you to wear it all the time. But fuck, more than just once.
yeah, I mean, because I'm always taking
Fuck that.
pictures. Like you'll never really catch me in the same outfit twice. So
This
Right.
guy,
yeah.
the greatest DJ on the
I feel that.
fucking
I feel that. Hey, I feel you. I used to be the same way. I wasn't even DJing. I was out here being a heathen. I feel you completely.
It's a closet full of one-time worn shit. That's
I
just
got like 7 bags of shit I need to go donate right now. I got hella clothes. I got hella bags of clothes that just need to be donated.
That makes sense.
stuff that you just got like a couple months ago too.
Nah, that's stuff I got last year. This last year's wardrobe.
You got to upgrade every year.
Some of the
Upgrade every
A7FL
year.
wardrobe in there too. Some of that shit was in Arizona. He like, all right,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
it's been
That's
real.
something. I didn't even know Puma was coming out with shit like
Yeah,
that.
now Puma, these fools dropping like everybody dropping shoes. Like even like when I got the Cheetos, like Scoot Henderson, he came out with another pair. They call it Northern Lights. So it's like a kind of like a. They almost look like the Lucha Libre colors, kind of. But they're pretty dope too. So, but yeah, they coming out. They be dropping shit like every day. I be seeing new stuff. Like Curry, he just dropped like 6 shoes.
Yeah.
He got them. He got a Bruce Lee collab that he did, but they ain't got my size. But yeah, he got some red ones that he
Bruce
did.
Lee?
Yeah, they like red and like gold. They hella dope.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes
so
sense.
you know he
I ain't
dropping
gonna
a
lie. When
bunch
I
of
was working
shoes.
there, he had a Sesame Street collab. Them shits went crazy.
Anthony Edwards just dropped like 3 shoes. Yeah, there's a bunch of cats dropping stuff right now. So as I see it, I'm like, let me go ahead and snatch up a pair of them real quick.
Hey, did you see them
Dexter's
John Morant's
Laboratory
last
ones.
season?
Like I got a
When
sweatshirt I
he
can order
had
with this.
some Halloween. Y'all saw them John Morant shoes he had for Halloween last year?
Them
shits was cold. I ain't gonna lie. Them shits was cold. It was like a lime green and black, I think it was.
Okay.
That shit was cold.
I didn't even
But it
know
wasn't
John
like the
Morant
whole
had a
shoe
shoe
was
out
lime
like
green. Like accents was lime green. Molly should have said the other way around, but whatever.
So if LaMelo's with Puma, like a big baller brand is just done, huh?
Yep. I guess, I ain't never
Well,
seen shit
no,
off of
because
there.
Leandro about to
Probably
drop a shoe.
Yeah.
For Big Baller Brand?
Yeah, he dropping the shoe Big Baller Brand. That shit cold though. I ain't gonna lie. That shit is kind of cold. Them,
How
Leandro
much you
shoes.
selling it for?
Say it again.
How much you selling it for?
I haven't looked it up. I saw the
Most of these
commercial he
shoes
did
ain't
when
that
he was like,
expensive.
"Don't
Like
sleep
the
on me." I saw that commercial.
The Currys was only like 130, so it ain't like they're like hella reason, outrageous.
They were outrageous last time they came out. Wasn't it like $300-400 for those pair?
Yeah, no, they tripping. You go get you a pair of Trump
Well,
shoes for
That
400.
was the first shoe, and they was going crazy because the pre-sales went up to that. That's how that shit went up to that because the
I
pre-sales
know
in
you were
Japan.
laughing at those.
I seen
I
that shit.
know,
I'm
man.
like, ain't no fucking way.
Which was garbage.
Right. Like, ain't nobody buying that shit.
The first
Especially
one
for
was trash,
$400.
but
For legit $400?
Yeah, $399. He got them bitches for
yeah,
$399. I'm like, you tripping.
yeah. Pre-sale had him go up, so he was good. He got the first goddamn price. But them bitches went up. They were like $5, because I think they went up like $7 at one point. Some people paying over $1,000 for them bitches. Them shits was crazy. Like people selling them bitches crazy numbers. Like, yeah. The pre-sale fucking drove them bitches up. So much so to when that's when he went on the Undisputed and he showed the shoe and he was talking about it and all that kind of shit. Pre-sale, he was talking about that. That's where I got this kind of information from, because I'm pretty sure LeVar went on there and was like, the pre-sale went up and he was talking all that shit. And I'm like, damn, them bitches went up to $500. Never in the chance of hell will I pay for them shoes. Anything over than $50.
Yeah, Melo even came out with like 2 other shoes. He got one called the Beehive, and then he got one which is like a blue, and then he got one yellow one that's a Porsche collab. Yeah, so
That makes sense.
You see more Cartoon Network collabs. I want like the Dexter's Laboratory.
yeah,
So I want
yeah.
to see some other shit like that. That's all I want to see.
I actually wore them tonight. I had them on today. Actually, that's but see, I ain't really worn them nowhere, so ain't nobody really seen them. So
Them bitches cold. I ain't gonna lie to
No,
you, them bitches cold.
nobody got you on camera with them, so
nope,
you're good.
I wear them a couple times. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of fucking shoes, I was in the store today, right? I saw this OG with some fucking leopard Rouches. Not Rouches. What's the shit's called? By Nike. Roshis. He had some leopard Roshis. Them bitches was so cold. I was like, God, the accent was black. It was so. I was like, God, dang, them shits is hard. And he was, he was trying to fucking flirt with all the young girls. It was an OG motherfucker. Like, he had the great handlebar connecting fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking Willie. What's my boy name from fucking Knockout Kings? I mean, not Knockout Kings. Fucking Ready to Rumble. What's my boy name? Willie Johnson. He had the Willie Johnson joint. It was great. Like that shit. Hey, he had them cold ass fucking goddamn Roshis. That shit was hard.
I never really got into shoes like that. That's why like the ones that when Mad Six are bringing up and I'm seeing them going, what the fuck? Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't
Yeah,
pay
I got
attention to it like that. So just seeing it for the first time, I was like, holy! I was
Yeah,
like,
now I just happen to
Puma,
look at a
really?
pair of shoes, and now like all that shit just comes across the feed. Now like every time you look at one thing, and that shit is on every. So all the new shit, yeah.
Man, I moved to Cali with 50 smart pair of shoes, bro.
Yeah, I was always one of those guys that just I had a different pair of shoes every year, but like one pair of shoes, or like 2 pairs of shoes actually. One black, one white.
I mean, people value things differently at different times in their life. I'm low key kind of on that stage now. Like, I mean, I got 2 storage bins, 2 like 50 gallon storage bins in my storage full of shoes. Like, I'll switch them out. Like if I'm going somewhere, like I brought some when I went down there, and people was like raving over them. Like my friends and family Jordans. Like somebody was kind of going over them. The blue suede ones I had when I was recording and shit. Like a couple of the guys was like kind of raving about those, but whatever.
Yeah.
if I'm gonna pay like $100+ for a pair of shoes, like I'm barely ever wearing them motherfuckers.
Mm.
Like, and that's why I'm just kind of like, if I'm not gonna be wearing them that much, is it really worth me paying that much money for it? That's how I looked at it. But I
Yeah.
get it for Matt says he's got the whole style, he's got the whole wardrobe, he's got everything that's got. It's like, well, that's the brand. Like that's Matchsticks right there. Like that's because again, now that he kind of brings it up, I don't think I have seen him wearing the same outfit twice in different events.
I
I do
feel
not
it.
recall in my memory. I do not recall that in my memory. So I mean, hey, it's the cheat. The I'm not gonna lie, the hot Cheeto ones. I was like, those
That
looked.
was like, that boy. Hey, them boys was cold. He did that. He
I
did
was like,
that.
oh. And
Yeah,
yeah,
he
the
said
Dexter's
cold right
live.
there.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Now
they
he's
pulling out of stops. The marketing team. So as far as Puma though, Jay-Z, I'm pretty sure he's like a president or some shit like that in Puma, like in the in that shit. And I think that happened years ago. When motherfuckers like Puma, why the fuck he go to Puma? The next thing you know, J. Cole had a shoe where he got a line at Puma now. The Dreamers shoes. He got like I think like 3 or 4 shoes now. Every one of them I've seen them is hard. J. Cole shoes with Puma.
like the packaging and everything too. I'm just like, I was laughing because when you got the Dexter's Laboratory ones, I was looking at the packaging going, this is just like all it needs is just to be raised slowly out of the case with smoke coming from the bottom. That's all it needs left. Like that. I'm just looking at it going, God damn. Like you're probably paying about $30 to $40 just for the packaging. Like not even for the shoe, just for the basic look of what it is presented to you. But I mean, did he? He probably could resell them. Wearing them, what? Like how? You? I don't know if you know more than I do, or you probably do know more than I do about this. But how much does wearing it that one time kind of devalue the shoe, or does it at all?
Well, as far as in the market, you as soon as you put the shoe on your feet to wear them, they devalue. Even if you're trying to
Like
focus on it at
how
home,
much of a difference?
it's a big difference. It's a huge difference. Some people do the one time wear though and take a high ticket for it though. But like for people that don't want all that shit, they're not gonna pay that.
So people literally just buying up shoes just to buy, like they're not even planning on wearing them; they're just buying them. I've seen those videos like after a long period of time of like not wearing it or whatever, you can like fucking basically it looks like cake frosting, essentially. You can rub it off. I don't know how true or whatever that shit is, but after a long period of time, if that's what it's gonna do to the shoe, wouldn't it actually make sense and probably be a better idea to at least have a one time wear? Because again, I don't know if you've seen that happen to shoes before, but I never understood the concept of just collecting them just to collect them, not to wear them, to at least have some sort of purpose for them.
I mean, I see it both ways. I mean, people fixated with different things. People like different things, man. So some people spend their money in different places.
I guess that's no different than people collecting comic books and shit, right? Paying a shit ton of money for comic books and playing cards. So not very much different. But, so is there anything that you're? I know this is kind of out of nowhere and off topic, but is there anything for the A7FL season that you're kind of expecting for, or that you're hoping for?
Just how the season looks with all the different transactions. To see how everything plays out.
There's a lot of shit being talked right now. That's right. It's going to be a very interesting season, and the 10th one at that. Like it's going to be. There's going to be a lot of moments um, that define how this season's going to go. Um, but at least from what you've seen, what you've heard, whether it be limited or vast, um, if you were to make a prediction, would you say that the East is going to take it back home, or do the West have a really good shot of keeping it here?
I mean, everybody got a good shot. That's what I'm saying. Like we got to see how it plays out with the transactions. Can't really tell. Can't really call things if we haven't seen play yet. You've seen the fall brawl, but we don't know if that's what team's gonna fucking run out there on Sunday this fall. I mean this spring. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see if the East kind of gets their shit together, because we've heard from a lot of people, things that have been going on, especially with Matt Ryan, Big Rob, Corey Hammond of all things. Obviously, we're following a lot of the things that A7FL is doing, um, and it's just growing and growing and growing, and the brand is getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where I mean, one, it already is kind of nationwide if you really look at it. Two, it's getting eyeballs in the sense of we're getting a lot more interest. There's a lot of people playing now, adding, God, I think they added 3 or 4 different teams throughout the season, and they already had, above 20. So, and it's just on the verge of getting bigger. There again, Northern California, there's Texas, that's already been said. Um, Louisiana outside of there, Arizona is obviously a spot that's being probed at right now. Reno, looking into the Washington, Oregon area. There's a lot of things coming for that, and I think and again, and I've said it from especially from the first time that we talked to Big Rob. The East needs to do a lot to stay ahead of everything that's coming, because at some point with the movement that happens, now we're seeing players not just from different teams switching sides out there in New Jersey. We're talking like people leaving the East and coming to the West, or going from the West to going to the East, like full on coastal free agency is going on. So if they're not careful, could get kind of left out in the dust. And all of it becomes a flashback to history. And oh man, do we remember those days? You don't want to be in the remember those days. You want to kind of stay in the this is the now. Um, but A7, March 21st, looking forward to that season coming up. There's also I have one. I was talking to Sky um, with San Jose. That's going to be something that we're going to be looking into again really soon because whole new coaching staff there. I want to see if we can. I want to find a way to actually be able to go visit Coach Zoe and them over there in Arizona. And I think I have a way of making that happen, but we'll figure that out. We now, okay, we have our first preseason game for the Tigers on the 16th.
That's the first home game, bro. That's week 1.
That's not even preseason anymore. It's like
That's
we're
week 1.
week.
That's live
Okay.
action. The preseason game was supposed to be this Saturday on the 9th, but they backed out. So we have practice, which is in shells.
Okay. Got it. That's where I was like that's where I got confused because I thought there was one preseason game before the forgot that there was a team that had backed
No, the
out.
preseason game was supposed to be on the 9th. The first game is the 16th. That's why I was saying we had 11 straight weeks, which the preseason game is not happening. So we have 10 straight weeks of football, which essentially is still going to be 11 because maybe it's going to be more, bro. It's going to be more than just 10 straight weeks of football because we have that good of a team. The only way we lose is if we beat ourselves or injuries, which I really don't foresee happening because of our depth. So
It's a good squad. It's a good squad. There's a lot of good things coming. Everybody, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us on this Tuesday evening. Hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Kay, any last updates or anything about what you got going on before we head out?
yeah, like we mentioned, we have the game with the River City Tigers, March 16th at River City High School, which is 1 Raider Lane in West Sacramento. Games at 3 p.m. We also have a pop-up market at the games now. So every home game, we're going to have a pop-up market. So it's 5 pop-up markets and probably the playoff games as well. We're going to have pop-up markets, but we're still figuring that part out. So for sure, week 1. So we're going to have food vendors there, different things there, crafts there, all kinds of stuff there. Like you can get some nice stuff while you're at the football game, enjoy a good game, and have a nice experience. Let's just say it like that. You'll have a nice experience, you know what I'm saying, at the game. So come check us out. You can get the tickets at eventbrite.com/River City Tigers. Or you can get them at the gate. Online is $10. At the gate it's 12. So I would get my ticket at online if I were you to save those $2 because getting $8 and change or trying to figure out $2 is gonna piss you the fuck off. So because it would piss me the fuck off. So yeah. Also, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we got Rise of the Tigers, which is a docu-series under the Canvas umbrella, which is also under the the Gridiron Warriors of the Golden State, which is a docu-series talking about all of the semi-pro teams in California. Hopefully I can reach out and get some teams in SoCal and get some teams all over. Right now we're in Sacramento. Next we're going to be in Salinas, because those are the 2 that we've already confirmed and 1 is already in motion. So as I've said before, River City Tigers Canvas on YouTube, or you can type in Rise of the Tigers Canvas and you'll find it. The first episode, which is Weeding Them Out. It's a very good episode. Promise you. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us once again. For myself, JP, for the 610 Beast with Southeast Country K. DJ Man 6, All Pro JAFFOs, highly elevated sports talk for a highly elevated sports fan. See you guys on Friday. Later.